Whenever a professor is checking your paper, they just see the diagram and then they put the marks immediately. So a 5-mark question, they just see the diagram and 3 marks is already covered by that. So let's start with the hardest subject, which is anatomy. Most people get supplementary in this subject itself. Anatomy depends on how much time that you actually are willing to spend for this. If you have about 1 year from your university exam, which means you're starting MBBS just now, then the plan is going to be a lot different from if you just have 1 month left for your exams. So I'll cover both of those in this video. Let's assume that you have 1 year left for your anatomy university paper. So what do you actually have to do right now? Right now, focus on completing your reading. So I would tell, as far as books are considered, focus on Vishram Singh or BDC. Either one, not both, okay? These books are actually really good. You don't have to go for international books like Gray's Anatomy. Gray's Anatomy is very vast and that is not actually required. The main thing that I want you to focus on is diagrams. Make sure that you are having a separate notebook where you draw each and every diagram of a chapter. So as the chapter is covered, just draw those diagrams by hand into a notebook, because these are what's going to fetch you the most amount of marks. The rest 2 marks is based on your labeling, the things you put below the diagram, the things you write. They don't even actually look at the things you write, they just look at the subheadings and put marks. So I just want you to focus on the diagrams. Make sure you make colorful diagrams for each chapter. It's going to be in the book itself. Whatever diagrams in the book, you just copy it by hand a few times, basically practice drawing it without looking at the book. Another very important thing in the books that's given is clinical application. So every time someone is checking a paper, they're always going to look at the end of your answer whether you've written clinical application or not. So these are very small points but they carry a lot of weight. These are usually given in that boxes in Vishram Singh. So just have a look at those. In each chapter, make a list of each clinical significance thing that is there in each chapter and actually go through the tests. Like search up a YouTube video on how to do each of these tests, because in vivas they can actually ask you, show me this test, what is this sign used for? All these kind of questions can be asked in viva. So it's not just about theory exams, viva also matters. Now coming to the embryology part. Embryology, actually the way to study it is based on each week. Each week different things will happen to the embryo. I just want you to make a list based on the number of weeks. So week number 1, what happens? Week number 2, what happens? Just make a list of all the things that happen in each week of development. And also take Vishram Singh embryology book. Just look at the diagrams. See the most important diagrams. So if let's say they asked a question about one specific topic, think of which diagram you would want to draw for this. An easy diagram. Consider, let's say, diaphragm development. So for diaphragm development, there is one easy diagram where there's the 4 parts of diaphragm developing, and you can just draw that, and that's it for the answer. Have that in a different book. So copy those, draw those into a different book for each chapter in embryology along with the week. So for the books, use Vishram Singh embryology, and for reading embryology further, you can use Langman's embryology. These have a bit more detailed stuff about why each thing happens. But as far as exams are concerned, embryology doesn't have so much weightage, so you can just read Vishram Singh and go. For histology, I would tell focus on the diagrams itself. Anatomy is all about diagrams. So even in histology, there's going to be different patterns that you see in a diagram. So whenever you see a histology specimen, see what kind of diagram it is. Consider a GI specimen. So in GI, obviously, it's going to have these 4 layers: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, and serosa. Whenever you draw it, just see what are the differences in each layer that's happening to each specimen of GI. Some might have a layer missing, like gallbladder will not have a submucosa. So I want you to remember those things while drawing the diagrams. The diagrams and labeling will take you like 60-70% of the way there. The rest is just about clinical significance. So these are the things that you need to do for anatomy. So if you only have 1 month for your university exam, all I would say is you can skip a lot of stuff, focus on the diagrams and the clinical significance. This will fetch you the maximum amount of marks. See a chapter, draw all the diagrams into a notebook, practice those without seeing, and then clinical significance, make a list. Try to remember them just by seeing the name of the clinical significance and correlate that with the diagram. As far as writing is concerned, you can just write whatever you want. You can just write it below the diagram. Make sure you have neat subheadings, because the examiner is just going to read the subheadings and the diagram, that's it, and the clinical significance. They're literally looking for that thing at the end of your answer. This is it for your university exams. If you just have these 2 things, that's going to take you a long way.